Okay, so right now, changing the nozzle and the PTFE tube for the Qidi, yeah, I think it's QIDI, whatever, Qidi XCF Pro. And as you can see, it's been in there a little bit and it burnt and actually broke a little bit when when I took it out. So we basically had to take this apart to replace it. So basically, what you have to do um, is take off these very small screws right here. They go up into here, up into this area here. Now it's kind of hard to see with everything, but right here on the outer edge, and I'm going to show you piece by piece how to put this together. So after where to go? I always set stuff down here and gotta find it again. Hang on, I'm gonna pause you. Okay, so here's the piece I was looking for. So basically, it just basically unscrews from here. It does have two Allen keys in here, someplace. I did not pull them all the way out. Here they are. Okay, as you can see, I did not take them all the way out because they're very small. So I would just loosen them up just enough so it unscrews off of the hot end here. So I'm just going to screw this back on, and I'll get back and I'll show you how it goes back in. So sliding the new tube in is very easy. Just you know, pull the old one out. I did have to use like a little pair of pliers to pull it out because it was burnt in there pretty good, and the other part was broke off inside the old tip, which I don't know where it is to show you, but you know, it was pretty burnt. So I'll screw this on, and then I'll show you how to tighten it up and then how to reassemble. Okay, just bear with me here. I'm going to put you on pause again. Okay, so I screwed this back on, but I didn't want to show you. Okay, see your little Allen keys there? They go towards the bottom. So just make sure that you, you know, when you screw this back on, screw it on, it'll stop at a point where everything is kind of lined up. You'll kind of see it because it has to screw onto that plate. But now we're going to tighten these up and then proceed. And I'm just going to keep pausing you because it's a lot of little parts here. This is pretty, you know, pretty hard to do. I don't have a stand or nothing. So just bear with me a second. And again, this is for the Qidi XCF Pro. XCF Pro. I didn't really see any videos about this, so hopefully this will help somebody. Okay, gonna pause you again. Hold on one sec. Okay, so just so you know, I tighten those up. Make sure that they are good and tight. Tighten both of them up, but like I said, I did not remove them. I unscrewed them pretty much almost all the way to remove that. But they're pretty small, and you're going to have a lot of little screws floating around here. Like these are, they're just kind of hard to work with. So, you know, I didn't unscrew them all the way. I mean, you can and take them out. That's up to you. But so just screw that back on and tighten them up. You know, good and tight. Okay, going to go through some, you know, show you another step. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, so as you can see, I put one screw in the top. Now, the way that this goes is the wires. I put this in it's an aftermarket BL Touch, but your wires face this way. Now a lot of people make a mistake when they're removing the tip. See that long screw? It comes into your kit there. Make sure you screw that in when you unscrew the nozzle, or else this will twist and you're going to have other problems. Once it twists, you're done. It's just like any other, um, any other heat block. It screws it up. So use the bolt. That's what it's there for. I see a lot of people changing these without the bolt, and the minute that this block turns, you're screwed. So I would say don't do it. You use the screw. That's what it's there for. You just hold it and you put your wrench on the nozzle, which I'm going to show you when I tighten it up. But we're going to put the 4 little screws in here, and another good way to tell is like your screw has to be sticking out front. Um, but we'll get into that a little bit more. Let me put these screws in, and like this is where it goes in. So we'll get into that in a second. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I kind of tested this before, setting it up. So I actually unscrewed it a little bit, and because I think I had it a little bit too tight. So now you can kind of, man, I wish I had something to lean this against, but you can kind of run. Um, bear with me here. I'm just looking to set this somewhere. But you want to be able to, push this through, fairly easily. So that's the trick, because it's going to come out here. So, just kind of, make sure that it moves fairly freely. I had a little bit too tight, so I felt like it was pushing too hard, and you can see it left some residue up there. So now it actually feels a lot better. So, when I put mine back on, the screws are over here. It doesn't really make a difference as long as they're square on the top, because that's how they fit into the bracket, is squarely. So I'm going to put the bracket back on, and then we'll go through some other steps here. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I got the one screw in there. You can kind of see all 4 go in there. And they're these very small screws. And like I said, make sure that this part can go out. And I'm going to show you how it slides into the bracket. Let me put those remaining screws in and, pull out this piece of filament. But I just want to make sure that the filament, goes through, nice and smooth. It does. It's like I said, it's hard to work this with just one hand, but it does go through, pretty good. So everything's lined up good. I'm just going to leave it in there while I put the other screws in to make sure it still feels good. Okay, be right back with you and show you how to reassemble this. Okay, so originally when I put the BL touch on, I think I put it in back, the wrong way. So I may flip it around here. But basically, if you have facing this way, everything goes on this block. And if you can see, if you look down in there, it slides right into there. So you just take it, slide it right down in there. Now that's the way that it should look, with the screw facing, again, like I said, towards the front, and you can kind of tell the front, because the back here is has the 3 screws, only 2 in the front. But yeah, I guess maybe the easiest way is keep it towards the fan. you know, however, but like I said, I'm going to fix this BL Touch while I'm here, so I'm going to do that really fast, um, and then get it back together and get it into the machine. So give me a sec and switch this around. You know, like I said, you kind of learn things as you go. Um, you know, maybe it would be better on out. You know, I guess it doesn't matter as long as these don't get in the way, which we'll make sure that they don't. We don't want these wires in the way preventing anything. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so I just want to show you this trick so you guys kind of see it, because this is a hard screw to screw in. So before I slide this all the way in, I put this screw in here, this top, it's facing my right depending on which way you do it, and it's going to go in that hole. But as you can see, between the heater block, um, you know, it's really tough to get, you know, this screwdriver in there. I think it's actually the bigger one here. It's this guy with the blue handle. Um, you know, so that's a little tip. So, you know, just kind of, you know, try to be a little careful when you know, so you don't cross thread it. Okay, give me a sec and let you know how we make out with that. Okay, to make it a little easier, I took off the BL Touch. Now remember, when you're putting this BL Touch in, um, these little washers have to go on these screws and then get screwed in. If you don't put these in, it's not going to level correctly. So we got one more screw to put here and one more back there. I always go diagonally. Um, you know, I put that one in first, which was over here, which was, like I said, it was pretty difficult to, you know, get it in there, but, you know, you can do it. Now we got this one in, so we're going to go here and then here, and I'll be right back with you, and I'll put the BL Touch back on, and we'll show you a couple other little tricks that I like and go from there. Okay, now we have all the 4 screws in there, so now we're going to put in the BL Touch. Now the BL Touch comes with these little washers, which I just lost one. I'll pick it up. But the easiest way is to, you know, get them lined up on the hole, and then, you know, and then screw it in. So give me a sec. I'm going to find the one that I dropped. That's what I mean. There's a lot of little parts here, so I got to be careful. And, you know, I'll blow this out a little bit and try to get that cleaned up, but it shouldn't affect anything. But, okay, be back in a sec. Okay, so going through this, there's a very small hole here. You know, this kind of came like this, so I don't know if they missed the hole with a zip tie. But, you know, I only have that large zip tie, so it's not going to work. So I found the next best thing, you know, a little bread tie or, you know, something like that. So I'm going to wrap, you know, rewrap the BL Touch wire and that wire so they're out of the way. It's probably a good thing to do, you know, while you have it apart. So I'm just going to twist them up good, trim off the excess, and then we'll get this nozzle put in. Sorry for the delay on the video. You know, I don't make a lot of these, but, you know, this is the first time I ever did this myself. So it's a good learning experience for everybody. But, okay, you know, bear with me, but here's the old tip, just so you kind of see it, and you can see where the tube broke off. So I know I bought these from like Alibaba, but the XCF Pro is different. So, you know, you can make your own, but you would at least need to buy one of these to have the length of this tube. So I would suggest that, either buy a couple of them, but um, this XCF Pro is one on its own. Um, so that's your best way, to do it. And then because I couldn't have got the correct distance off of this because it broke inside it. So I'll probably end up changing it more frequently. But I think they were $6, $7 or something on Alibaba. Um, I did find some ones on eBay, but they were not for the XCF Pro. That's what it's a very specific machine. So just bear with me and let me put that zip tie in there, the little bread tie, and I'll put the tip in and go from there. Okay, I'm right back with you. Okay, so as you can see right here, I kind of tied the wires in pretty good. I'm just gonna, nip that off right there. And like I said, this is what I was talking about having it facing towards the front, to use this, when you put your nozzle back in here. And then we'll get the case on this, show you that, and then I guess I can show you how to throw it back in the machine so you can see. Okay, like I said, it's a little bit of a long video, but this is a process. So give me a sec. I'm just gonna trim off this bread tie. Actually worked out better. I was able to double loop some stuff, so should hold up pretty good. Okay, the workbench is a little messed up here, but okay. So again, this was the old tip. As you can see, it's pretty bad. I'll start changing it a little more frequently. And as you can see, the tube broke off in there, so we had to replace the whole tube. Um, I don't know if you have to replace it every time. Not 100% sure. But, it is what it is, so that's done. Um, so what I always do, you guys should pick this up. Um, just so you know what it is, it's MFG8 thermal compound. Um, Works really good. Stops the nozzle from seizing up, like even as burnt as that one was, and with the tube broke in there, came out like nothing. So I just put this on the threads and thread it in, and the wrench size I use to put this in is 7 millimeter. Um, so that's what size the nozzle is. It's 7 millimeter wrench. Okay, so I'm gonna get that done and be right back with you. Okay, just a quick shot with a little of that MFG8 on there. Um, and so we'll screw it in and go from there. Um, Try not to get it inside the hole. I mean, if you do, use it right away or clean it out or something, immediately. Did make that mistake once. But all right, let me get this screwed in and then go from there. Okay, so tightening this. So push the opposite way of whatever you're turning with this bolt. So if you're going to twist, say this is to my right, you want to hold this to your left, like this, so it doesn't turn. Like it did just turn a little bit, but it still saved it. So that's what you want to do. You just want to go against whatever way you're turning. And that's it. So that's in there. It's good and tight. It's got the grease on it. We'll put this top on here. Basically, it just goes towards the fan. I left the screws in there. If you can see them or not right here. So we'll put that back on and then head over to the machine. Okay, so we put the nozzle in, put a rubber protector back on there. And make sure that's done, and then we'll put our little top on. Okay, so putting this little cover back on, easiest way to remember is just fan goes towards the fan. You can kind of see the little fan inside there, and that's pretty much it. So now we're going to go over and you know, just put it back on. You know, it's probably a good idea to wipe your hands off after you know, after using this MFG8, and you know, definitely get the cap back on it right away, because I did have a tube go bad. I left the cap off, but this MFG8 definitely worth it. I don't know the guys. I'm not making anything off of this. As you can see, it's a terrible video. It's taking me 20 minutes to kind of guide you guys through this, but as you know, a lot of guys skip a lot of steps and you're kind of lost. And you know, this slides right in. You can kind of see, you can't really see it, but you can, there you go. It just slides right underneath that, and then these tighten up, and these other screw holes, 3 in the back, 2 in the front to install this. So and then there's an additional cover that goes over the top. Alright, so we'll go over to the machine. Be back in a sec. Okay, we're back over at the machine. You can see there's 2 here, 1 and 2, and then in the back here, I can't really see them, but there's 3 of them right in the back. There you go, right there. So the head, basically, pretty simple, because you know your nozzle goes down, so it just goes up and under just like that, but you kind of need 2 hands to do it. So like I said, just slides up and under, and you'll be able to tighten them all. I'll be right back with you, and then I'll show you the final cover. Okay, so you can see right here, these were the original cover that we put on, so right behind them are these that hold it on. So your best bet is to, you know, I would leave them in there, but once they're lined up, you know, they're all lined up. But these are a little difficult to get to back here. Hoping you can see them. I'm trying, guys. But you know, it's a little tough to get your screwdriver or your little Allen wrench driver there between the rail to get these tightened up. But like I said, once you get the two front ones lined up, you're good to go. And I left them in there. So you kind of see them. You know, it's hard. I'm trying to show you here the best I can, but it's kind of a weird spot. It's like right in between the rail and that. They're like right in front of this here. There's 3 of them. You just gotta lean over and just look down in there and you'll get them. Okay, so we'll get them tightened up. And you know, turn the power off of this too while you're doing this. And then there's another plastic cover. Just make sure they're all tight. Always double check everything. You know, try to tighten in you know, some type of sequence, because it'll throw off your print. And this is a pretty expensive printer. Anybody who has this should know. But when they work good, but when they don't, they're a pain in the ass. So, pain in the butt. Okay, so now you just got to put your ribbon back in. So I don't know if you can see that. Here's your ribbon. So that basically goes right in there. You can see it. Best to do it with two hands, and then you just latch it through here. Be right back with you, and I'll kind of show you. But there's only one way you can go in, so it's pretty easy. Okay, so the ribbon just pushes in this way, and then if you reach in the back, you'll feel like a little, it's not even like a clip, but you can just slide your ribbon underneath it. I don't know if you can see. I know the lighting's not that great, but you can kind of see the that little clip back there. Just slide it up underneath there, and it's just fine. And then we'll put this, put the other clip on, or I'm sorry, the other cover on. Okay, be right back with you. Okay, this is the easy part. This is your last cover right here. This is plastic cover. And basically, it just goes on like that. It has thumb screws right here, 4 thumb screws. The long ones go in the top. You just got to get them lined up, and then the short ones, they go in the sides over here, and then that's pretty much it. And then you'll be ready to go. Any questions? I'll please post them below, and I'll do the best I can. But sorry it was a long video. Did the best I could. All right, that's pretty much how you do it. Like I said, it's the Qidi XCF Pro. It's like I said, pretty good machine. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Again, sorry it took so long. Gonna get this wrapped up, but like I said, you can see the 2 short guys, and then the longer one goes up in there. And the only other thing that I can suggest to you guys that really helps, and those things I bought on Amazon, is the Prevalent. It's a 3D build plate adhesive. It's great for the magnetic bed, but I didn't have much luck with it on glass. But I'll tell you, on this bed, it works wonderful. So I would get it. It's a nice pack. It's, I mean, you don't have to get the starter pack. It's up to you. It's basically just basically all it is. It's a little spatula, which you don't need, a little brush there, and then the tube. These little brushes, you can buy them, the little wood ones at home, or Harbor Freight for, I don't know, 50 cents or whatever. But, this is the important thing. Shake it well. Put it on the build plate while it's, just starting to heat up, and then you're good to go. But okay, guys, good luck and happy printing.